The average American wastes over $18,000 a year on things they don't need. But it's not what you think. In fact, here is what is actually draining your bank account. To start off with, let's look at your financial services and fees. High expense ratioed investment funds. This is why I pretty much only invest in the S&P 500. Not only historically does it outperform having somebody manage your funds, but also a 1% difference on an expense ratio can cost you $65,000 over 30 years on a $100,000 investment, which is absolutely insane. Bank account maintenance fees. Americans pay an average of $329 a year in bank fees. They're the last people who need more money. ATM fees. The average ATM fee is $4.66 per transaction. This literally doesn't make any sense. It's like paying $5 just to walk into your own house. Late fees. The average American spends $110 per year on credit card late fees. While credit cards are amazing and have gotten me this flight and this flight and this flight for free, you want to make sure you're gaming the system and they're not gaming you. Overdraft fees. Banks collected $11.9 billion in overdraft fees in 2022. It's literally like a fee for not having enough money. Credit card interest. The average American household with credit card debt pays about $1,300 a year annually in interest. Again, this is just another time when actually being poor costs more money than having money. So like not having an emergency fund is a huge emergency. Not having your finances in order literally takes money from the poor and gives it to the rich. Not taking advantage of tax deductions. One of the reasons why I love having a YouTube channel, because almost everything is a tax write-off, because I need it in order to do my business, even if I wasn't making money. If you do have the possibility to take deductions and you're not taking the time to do that, you're literally just giving the government extra money to use very well. Now, if you want to use no money very well, I have a free YouTube mini course on how to get started on YouTube. I now have 4 monetized YouTube channels on different areas of my life, so pretty much everything is a tax write-off. Plus, I make money from all of them. So if you want to get started, the course is actually really good. So check it out, it's free. Extended warranties. Retailers make up to 80% profit margins on extended warranties. I know personally, I always forget when I do have them or I can't find them, and generally things either gonna break right away or after the extended warranty's up. So in general, this is just kind of a scam. Oh, how did we get here? Fast fashion. And yes, I know I have incredible style. I feel like fast fashion is just proof that we're willing to destroy our finances and the planet just to make sure we don't have the same shirt on twice on Instagram. It's literally like a thing. It just doesn't make any sense. The average American throws away 81 pounds of clothing every year. That's like insane on clothes. And I think the funny part is nobody really cares what you wear. Except for me, I get mocked a lot for wearing black, but I don't care. There's actually a real one for me because when I do wear a different colored shirt, like everybody that I know is like, oh, you're not wearing black today. Like, yeah. Buying bottled water, especially individually, it's just like absolutely crazy. It costs about 2,000 times more than tap water. And like this water bottle, I literally got for $1 at a thrift store. And then I just fill it up from home. Just get a water bottle. If your water's not good, buy a water filter. It's gonna be way cheaper than buying bottles of water. And then of course there is the math tax. This is what I like to think of the lottery as. It's pretty much a tax on people who don't understand statistics of winning, or they see this like 1 in multiple hundreds of millions as their most likely shot of changing their finances. Americans waste $80 billion on lottery tickets, and there's literally a handful of people who end up ahead. Not this. I had this wall blank for about 8 months, which is not good for backgrounds of YouTube videos, but I hate impulse buying. The average American spends about $276 a month on impulse buys. I try to make sure that everything I do have, I think about it for like a month ahead of time to make sure that I actually want it. I've always wanted a map. It makes me look smart, like I've been places. And actually I did pay full price for this. You don't want to buy things on sale just because they're on sale. As my mom used to say, you can go broke saving money. I know a lot of people who do. Just because something's on sale, they buy it, and you can go broke that way. It's not a good reason to buy something. Bulk purchases you cannot use before they actually expire. Again, this used to happen to me all the time, and it happens to you too, because the average American household throws away about $1,600 worth of food every single year, which adds up to like at least 3 cartons of eggs. I mean, not for me because I get my eggs at the source. I picked a lucky time to have chickens. Designer clothes and luxury brands. Luxury clothes are usually marked up like 300 to 400% more. And when you think about it, it's just something that somebody slapped their initials on and you want to be part of that. You want to identify with the person or the brand or whatever. And while I do have shirts that I really like that are one certain brand, I don't buy it because it's that brand. I buy it because I like the way it fits, which is like a novel idea for a lot of people apparently. But if you just get like 15 shirts that actually fit that are all black and exactly the same, you just never have to like think again, which is something I'm good at. Designer sunglasses and eyewear. Again, this is another thing that people try to just make themselves feel better with. I used to do this. But once I found out that production costs are generally like $15 to $25 and they charge $200 to $300 for that thing, I realized that I don't really care that much. And I'll just buy a 3-pack of them on Amazon for like $12. And then if I lose them or I break them or I drop them in the pool, it doesn't really matter. I would like to take this time to say the same thing about designer baby clothes. This is something that drives me up a wall. As someone who has 2 kids, we get all of our clothes given to us by other parents and we just like trade clothes with each other or like at a thrift store because we've seen stuff that like who on earth is buying name brand clothes for their kids who wear them like once or twice, trash them, have no idea what they're even wearing, and yet parents are spending like $50 on a onesie. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Talk about insecure parents. Nobody cares what your kid's wearing. They don't even care about you. I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. Clothing items that you're not in love with. A little known fact is that the average American wears about 20% of their clothes 80% of the time. If you're anything like me, then you have certain things that you like to wear and look dashing in. However, you got to think about the cost per use, which is pretty much, even if I buy a $50 t-shirt, if I wear that like 50 times a year, which is probably going to happen, then it's really only like $1 per use. But if I buy a $10 shirt, which is pretty cheap, but I don't actually like it that much, so I only wear it once and then it sits in my closet forever, well, that $10 shirt now costs actually a lot more than the $50 shirt. So only buy things that you actually love and think about the cost per use. What am I doing in here? Daily coffee purchases. Come on, who didn't see this one coming? Can't be a saving money video if we don't talk about don't buy your daily latte. That being said, this is the math on buying a coffee machine and making coffee at home versus going to a coffee shop every day. Literally doesn't make any sense to not make your own coffee at home. And for all the people saying you don't have time, that's just a lie. It takes about 2 minutes, or you can make a pot, set it on a timer. It takes longer to go through a drive-through than it does to make your own coffee. Don't lie to yourself, especially about coffee. Have some respect. Buying lunch out every day. It's generally 2 to 3 times the price of just meal prepping, cooking at home, bringing it with you. Food delivery services, Uber Eats or Grubhub or DoorDash or whatever you use. It's disgusting how much more it actually costs to use those apps than to just go somewhere and get it, or again, just cook at home. If you have a bunch of money and you're okay with spending extra and it's like a luxury and it doesn't impact your finances, that's fine. But since most people can't cover like a $400 emergency, maybe stop overspending on your DoorDashed McDonald's. It's just a random thought. There was actually this viral TikTok that broke down the math, and if you went to the store, it was about $12 for this meal, but if you had it delivered, it was almost double. Buying too much food that goes to waste. If you look at our meal plan here, which my daughter did not get a hold of, it's very clear to see that meal planning and actually picking what you're going to eat for the week and then buying only that stuff can save you like hundreds of dollars a month. If you're not doing it, you should be. Buying overpriced drinks when you do go out to eat. I personally have a really hard time with spending like $12 to $15 getting like a martini when I go out to dinner, when that's generally the same cost as my dinner. And you get like this much alcohol, which is like scientifically proven to hurt you. If I am gonna hurt myself, I at least want to do it cheaply. So you can literally shave a ton off your bill just by drinking water when you go out, not buying soda, not buying drinks, because that's where restaurants make most of their money. Paying for subscriptions. There is a subscription that is completely free and any of you can have if you just click the button down below. It turns color, it's all kinds of fun, and we're on the road to 1 million subscribers. If you want to be part of that journey, grab a free subscription down below. It's pretty fun. Multiple streaming services. Yes, I'm actually watching TV. What are you talking about? Streaming services have gotten way out of hands. If you accidentally have Netflix because you just wanted to watch Jake Paul beat up some old guy, make sure you go through and you cancel that afterwards, because there's so many right now. I'm getting scammed into like signing up for so many things just to watch like NFL games. It's crazy, but it's really important for like once a month, go through and cancel a bunch of those bad boys, because it can end up costing like hundreds of dollars a year for stuff you don't even use. And I guess while we're there, let's mention gym memberships. I am so for spending money on a gym membership. I've had one since I can pretty much remember, and it is great use of money. However, I also know people who have had gym memberships for years who never go besides the day they sign up. So if that's you, just cancel it. It's okay. Or go back to the gym. Probably be better to do that. Monthly boxes. While we're on subscriptions, let's talk about monthly boxes. These are things that used to be really popular, and they still are for some people. It is where you get a box of random crap sent to your house, whether it's clothes, whether it's kids stuff. My wife got one for like babies, and then I made her stop because we literally didn't use anything in the box. But it's something that you see on Instagram, you see somewhere, it looks cool, you get it, and then you forget that you have the service, and it shows up again. You're like, oh, I should really cancel it this time. And then it shows up one more time, and you're like, all right, this time I'm gonna cancel it. Oh, but this thing is kind of cool. Maybe I'll keep that. Oh, that was kind of worth it. Oh, and then you just get a bunch of crap in your house, filling up the hallways and the gourds and the nooks and crannies, I think that's what I was looking for, of your house with the random crap that you do not need. Don't have subscriptions of stuff coming into your house. Pretty much always a scam. Oh, come on, die. Hang on one second. Come on. Cell phone games. I have been addicted. It is expensive and it like literally wastes your life. You're building, you feel like this sense of accomplishment, and you're buying something to get instant gratification, and it builds nothing. Wait, look under your seat. You've got a brand new car. Realize you may have some disappointment right now. Don't worry, because new cars lose like 20 to 30% of their value the first year you buy them. Scam. Also, luxury cars, because the insurance on them costs like 40 to 50% more than other cars. It's just wasting money. Who wants to give the insurance company more? Ow. Expedited shipping. Let me ask you a question. How will your life change if you don't spend an extra $4 for that plushy guitar to show up 3 days earlier? Is that really worth it? Is it? Most of the stuff we buy online is honestly a waste of money, but spending extra money just to have it a few days earlier is just really a waste. Much like the time when I paid for first class on a domestic flight, I cannot express how disappointed I was that my seat did not lay back and I still could not sleep. But when you think about it, a first class ticket costs like 4 to 10 times more than a normal seat. And if you're only doing that for like an hour or for 3 hours, think about how much you're paying per hour to be able to instead sit like this, to sit like that, and maybe get a meal that you would pay $10 for somewhere else. To be fair, actually, this meal was really good. By the way, I didn't pay for this flight. And then of course there are airline fees. Is it worth $50 to be like 10 spots ahead in line? Because tons of people pay for that. A checked bag can be like $35 one way. So you're talking like 70 bucks. Honestly, the stuff in my bag's not worth 70 bucks. I could just like buy more stuff. That's why whether I'm traveling for a weekend or 2 weeks, I just use a backpack. First of all, they can't lose my luggage like they did in Europe. Second of all, I'm not paying for anything and I'm not waiting. You don't need that many clothes. Buying the latest smartphone. There is so little difference between the phone that I have that's like 3 years old and the newest one. And yet I know so many people who just buy the newest phone constantly, even though they only use like 10% of the features on the phone, and you can't even notice a difference in the camera really. Your friends and Instagram can't even tell the difference. Just stop upgrading every year. Let's talk about expensive tech gadgets. The average American spends about $1,200 per year on tech. And 40% of those purchases are rarely or never used. Literally wasting money on impulse stuff that seemed cool on Instagram. And just one more thing on tech. If you're spending like $100 for a phone plan, please stop. There's a billion of these alternative ones now that use the same towers. I have Helium Mobile. My wife has Mint Mobile. They're both like 20 bucks a month. They both work great. There's tons of other ones as well. And yet I still know people who spend 5 times more than me on a phone plan because they like to feel secure and they like won't even try anything else. Doesn't make any sense anymore. Trendy health and fitness equipment. I know so many people who've bought like those Pelotons and they have a subscription so they can go on their favorite bike rides and whatever. And every single person I know who's done that, it's turned into a coat rack eventually. That's just what's gonna happen. So if you're spending $1,000 or $5,000 on some tech thing without doing the cheaper version first, or literally just like stop eating junk food and go outside and move, you're totally wasting money. And instead of like taking accountability for the problem, you're trying to throw money at it. In fact, people do the same thing with like miracle products and weight loss stuff. Like 95% of diets fail and people actually put the weight back on from this extreme diet that they just went on, because a diet's not a long-term solution. It's like you do something for 30 days and then you go back to your normal default. You have to change that normal default in order to change. I know that because when I made a change, I lost like 40 pounds and I've been able to stay in shape since. That's because I changed my lifestyle. Also, paying for name brand versus generic when it comes to medicine, or when it comes to things in your cabinet, or when it comes to like tomato sauce, mostly like the phone plan, is just a waste. Smoking and vaping. This can cost anywhere from like $1,000 to $5,000 per year to smoke and vape. If there is a definition of wasting money, it is paying exorbitant prices for something that is actively hurting and killing you and is pretty disgusting in general. I know no smokers who recommend it to their friends and their family and their kids and who just wish they could smoke more. Nobody. The $37,000 mistake. That is the average amount of student loan debt per borrower. Like, while going to school is great for some people, there are literally degrees that have a negative ROI. Like, I can't think of many things kind of dumber than spending $50,000 or $100,000 to get a degree to start making like $35K a year, which some degrees do. Not to plug YouTube in my free course to get started, but I literally have a friend who learned how to edit for like a year and a half and then got offered $100,000 a year to edit for somebody and turned it down because he gained an actual valuable skill for completely free, self-taught, as opposed to going to college for, I don't know, I'm just going. Maybe I'll figure it out if I just keep paying money. Trying to look rich instead of taking care of yourself. 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and yet almost everybody makes purchasing decisions based on what this will look like for other people. You're getting a shirt, how will people perceive me in this? You're getting a car, you want to have as nice of car as your friends, as nice as house as your friends. Everything you do is about keeping up with the Joneses and impressing other people instead of saying who really gives a crap, because no one does, and being different than everybody else and living like nobody else now so that you can live like nobody else forever. Gambling. Americans lose about $120 billion a year gambling. Not just regular gambling, sports betting. This is something that has become hugely popular with like every celebrity ever is promoting it because they are printing money from the people who are gambling. $16 billion was bet on the Super Bowl, and if you look at like non-legal stuff, it's way higher. It's crazy. It's a huge trap that a lot of people fall in. For most people, you're just not gonna win. Gifts. Well, we do give my children some gifts, not a ton. We've pretty much stopped doing gifts with everybody because not only does it clutter up your house, it's like terrible for minimalism, it's a waste of money. Nobody wants another sweater that you saw on Etsy and is really uncomfortable because it's just like cheap. Buying gifts for people just because you feel obligated or because it's some type of holiday, it's a waste. Junk food. If there's one thing I am constantly shocked at, it is that you can buy a bunch of bananas for like 97 cents. It's the only thing I can buy in the store that's like under $1 for like enough food to actually taste like food. And yet people think it's cheaper to buy junk food that is generally more expensive than just like buying healthy food. Like, look at a bag of rice and some fruits and vegetables. It's not terribly expensive.